Hello, today we are at Ellanor C. Lawrence Park in Chantilly, Virginia.
This is a park that we've passed by countless times on our way to Chantilly, but we've never actually stopped to visit here, so we're excited to explore it today. The land here has been here for hundreds of years, and it's mainly been formed by three families, the Browns, the Mackins, and the Lawrences. It is named after Ellanor C. Lawrence, after all, so we'll be focusing on the Lawrence family today. Lawrence Park is 650 acres on the western side of Fairfax County. It was purchased by Ellanor Campbell Lawrence and her husband David Lawrence in 1935 for a little over $16,000. Ellanor grew up in South Carolina but moved to DC in 1916 where she met David, and David was the founder and columnist for U.S. News and World Report. So they lived in DC and they bought this area as their country estate.
I imagine all these pockmarks are from cicadas coming out of their 17-year hibernation. The Walney Visitor Center is located in a converted 1780 farmhouse. The Lawrences never lived there, but they rented it out to various tenants.
Cabell's Mill was built prior to 1800 and operated as a mill until 1916. The Lawrences transformed the old mill into a guest house and hosted many Washington notables, including Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt.
Well, we finally found some cicadas. There's one right there. They keep going up. That's wild.
I think we're wrong. And I think it's actually just empty cicada shells, which explains why we don't hear anything. I've seen a lot of cicada holes and cicada shells, but where are the cicadas? Like, where are they? I don't get it.
I was always under the impression that cicadas were hibernating while underground for 17 years. But that's not the case. I was looking it up and it looks like they're active underground, tunneling and feeding, and not sleeping or hibernating as commonly thought.
Look how gross this is. Ew. Lots of cicada shells. This is the Middlegate property, and when there was a mill here, this is where the miller lived. But then when the Lawrences bought this property, this is where their home was. It's currently closed to the public. It houses administrative buildings, but it's actually kind of cool to think that this at one point was a country estate because it's just surrounded by a bunch of suburbs and major highways. The Middlegate Complex and Cabell's Mill are near the meadow along Big Rocky Run and Walney Road. There are records indicating that there was another mill near Cabell's Mill. That mill was built by Willoughby Newton around 1746. At various times, the mill was used as a grist, sumac, and sawmill. He's out there on the hunt for cicadas. He's never seen cicadas before, so it's a big deal for this Alaskan native.
I'm just cicada watching. You only get to do this every 17 years.
Better make the most of it. We got a lot of cicada, folks.
Gotcha.
Its wing is broken. Are you okay?
I heard they're pretty bad flyers, actually.
Well, this one certainly is. When Ellanor died in 1969, she left the property in her will to her husband David with the hope that he would preserve it one day.
In 1971, David deeded 640 acres to the Fairfax County Park Authority in the memory of Ellanor.
Overall, I think the park was way more scenic than we expected it to be. There's a lot of cool places to walk around and explore.
Yeah,
What do you think of it?
I thought it was very scenic.
Very scenic and historic, that's for sure. There weren't a lot of people here, like on the trail, but then when we got to the visitor center, there were a lot of people. So maybe come back in the morning when there aren't as many folks. But it's a really nice place. When we filmed this video, we basically started backwards chronologically in that we started with the Lawrences because they were the last family to own this property and they really built it up to what it is today. But there's still a ton of history about the Mackins who owned it before the Lawrences and then the Browns who owned it before the Mackins. So we'll certainly have to come back and go through all of that history.
Thanks for watching.